Hi everyone. This is a different kind of message and it will be more quick, short. But I'm trying to be sort of real on here, and also I do want to build a following. I know it takes people a long time, so I'm aware that it's a process, and I've really gone in and out of like putting readings and then taking years off because I have a YouTube and I would sporadically add to it and then take away and also on Instagram. During the pandemic I did a lot of tarot readings, and then I don't know what would happen. I think I would feel like I'm not getting engagement, what's the point? But now I'm older and it's been a while since those readings, and I see that posting readings is not only like for me, for the people, it's really not only for the people that it's being posted to, excuse my bra, sorry. It's also for me, because I get messages from the reading that I didn't like, that I wouldn't be able to see. Like, I do tarot on my own anyway, and this is really just showing that process but externalizing it and making it, in my mind, performance art. I went to art school. I have an MFA in painting and printmaking. Got that when I was 23. I just wanted to say, like, I'm getting this like super strong message from the universe, from, I don't know, God, source energy, that whoever's watching this is like in a super negative place, and it has to do with feeling powerless, and it has to do with the way that people have treated you in your life. I want to say that a lot of times when people treat us badly or cruelly, they have a lot of unresolved issues within themselves, pretty much always, because that's not in alignment with their health or with anything, to lash out at someone or to be cruel. And I've had a lot of people in my life, to be so for real with you, bosses, boyfriends, friends, family members, acquaintances, just straight up like put me down, because I'm very different. I'm incredibly unique. I'm a unique person. I have a different life trajectory than a lot of people. I'm an artist, and firstly in my family, even though it was like superficially celebrated, it wasn't like really celebrated or understood. Especially, and also like my psychic gifts within all of these groups, friends, families, jobs, were just like thought of as mental health issues or something. Why am I saying this? Because I feel like the person who needs to hear this needs to hear that you can't base your self-worth upon someone else's treatment of you. A lot of people have they have issues in their life, and they're making you a role without knowing anything about you. You could even be a family member who's known you your whole life, and they may just be so out of touch with what you're going through in your life, and they don't understand it all, and they're taking out stuff on you. I had an ex-friend a while ago reach out for something with her family, and then it was a legal thing, and it was like, really, my mom helped, and it was this whole thing, and they started trolling me on the internet, and I said like, please stop, and then they like said that I was bothering them and started like threatening me. And the whole thing was so just ridiculous and obnoxious, and that person was from growing up from when I moved in high school. We moved to Northeast Connecticut, and the friends I made in that region, which were few, really had a problem with me because I grew up right next to NYC, and I was always talking about NYC and art, and I don't think that was like looked upon kindly in the rural community that I moved to. And then like this, you know, not that I really even fit in Westport where I grew up. Like I did have friends, but like having alopecia was a huge social barrier. I started I get patches when I was 12 and then lost it all at 13. And then all of my teen years were spent doing treatments. So I wore a headscarf but had like hair to my shoulders. So it was like confusing. Yeah, I think I'm mixing my own stories with being an outcast because there's somebody who needs to hear it. I also, you know, college was not easy for me. I wore a wig. I started wearing wigs halfway through because people were calling me headscarf girl, and it was really just offensive. A thing about alopecia that people don't understand is that there is usually medical trauma. Not always, but people think, oh, she lost her hair, so she'll just move on. But usually people have gone through years and years of treatment trying to get their hair back, which is what I did. So, and there's a huge misconception. People were constantly asking me in college if, or not, people were constantly not understanding why I was bald, thinking I had cancer, and then also constantly just like asking me for like think no one understands that alopecia, you lose your hair. They think you're born with it, which felt frustrating to explain. I guess college is the first place where there's like really a larger like group of people from different walks of life in a social academic setting. And I will say, even I went to UConn, I felt like I really didn't fit in there for similar reasons, because I was like growing up going into the Met, seeing Giacometti with my mom, or even just school. Growing up near New York, you go see art all the time because it's the school field trips. It's like they can't think of what else to do, so they take you to the Natural History Museum for the 50th time, growing up in Westport. So I was like not fitting in my rural college as much either, because I had a really big knowledge of art, and I went to an arts magnet school in Hartford. Halfway through high school, I went for 2 years, and so I really had like a vast knowledge of the arts, and like just going into college, and that was not like my peers. Everybody else was like just coming from high school art class, from like other parts of like Connecticut, usually rural parts of Connecticut. That's what I noticed with most of my peers there. Or at least I didn't have any peers. No, I had like 2 peers from Fairfield County, but they were very wealthy and like thought down on me because they thought I was a hick because I had moved to Northeast Connecticut. Even though my grandparents were still in Southeast Connecticut, I used it as a home base for a long time. Anyway, so what was I gonna say? Then I went to grad school and didn't fit in there either, even though I was like voted best artist at like both places. And in high school, college, and grad school, I got these awards for like basically best artist in the school. And in grad school, that was the Joan Mitchell grant, but I didn't get it. It was just to be nominated. It was an honor. But during grad school, there was a lot of artists come from like working class, to be honest, because even if their parents were middle class, they may have had to have jobs. There's a lot of like old hippie teachers that like worked cleaning toilets, and then if they hear you from Westport, they don't like you, is all I can say. And I'm not even one of the families that were rich in Westport. Like my family was not wealthy. My dad was a stockbroker, but like we were just very middle class. Ooh, sorry. I mean, I grew up with people who had like elevators in like movie theaters in their house, so we weren't like that. Then just as I got older, I tried working. I worked in schools, and it really brought up like, first I was like a waitress and nanny for many years, and then I thought teaching would be some great thing because I wanted to originally teach college, but wasn't given a chance because I had a sort of misogynistic graduate experience where like I just wasn't given the chance. And so I didn't get that opportunity, and then you just can't find teaching jobs after that. So then I thought teaching kids would be like similar, but I did that and hated it. And it felt like a repeat trauma of losing my hair and being in school in 8th grade and having everybody ask me like why I'm wearing a headscarf, or because kids can tell when you're wearing a wig. And then at a certain point I was just like, I got fired from my last job at that, it was during the pandemic, or it was 2021, and it was like ridiculous made up reasons from this place, One River. It was like the boss just had an interpersonal issue with me. She had yelled at me and I told on her, told HR, and she was angry, so she made this list of made up reasons. And I was like, I'm never going to put myself in one of these situations, these teaching situations where someone's not monitoring what I'm doing and then can make up lies about me. It's so unfair. And that's really what a lot of those jobs are. And then since then I've just really done like gig work, mostly Instacart, honestly. And I was in business school. I got an MBA, so I had some money from that for a while. Before that I had some like pandemic funds, like some unemployment funds, but why am I telling you all this? Oh, and then I've also had like all my boyfriends that I've ever had like in my life have like been like super competitive with me and jealous of my interest and passion for the arts and knowledge of the arts, and I haven't been super lucky in that arena either. My last boyfriend, we're friends but like barely, but we were, I think like more than 5 years we were on and off, but like, yeah, I'm not going to get into what the details are of that relationship, but basically I've had a lot of relationships that were like martyr-y in some aspect, where I was martyr-y, being a martyr, or then disrespected. And I've had friends betray me. I was talking about that friend growing up who later asked for this like legal help, and then they attacked us, me and my mother, for like, and threatened us just for being like, hey, you didn't fall through. I think that it's really hard in this world to fit in, and I think that that's the point of my speech. I'm now a realtor, though I have not shown a house yet. That is my long-term goal, is to do real estate, but I wanted to tell you these stories of like not fitting in many places, because it doesn't mean that you're wrong. It doesn't mean you're bad. If all your peers reject you or are rude or mean, it doesn't mean anything negative about you. And like, that literally has been my experience. Like, I think in all social situations I've been ostracized. One time I had this job at Pratt Institute. I worked there for a year, and when they found that I had alopecia, they literally relocated me to a closet, and I quit because I have breathing issues and I couldn't breathe without a window. I know these are like painful experiences, but like, I mean, I've even had them with my own family. But I think the message that I'm trying to get through is like, if you can love yourself and hopefully love God, or if you're agnostic, love the world, love the universe, then you can see past people treating you like shit and like ghosting you, disrespecting you, demanding things from you, firing you. What else do people do? Just rudeness, a lot of like female clickiness. Like, if you can like get through that, then like you've experienced like the worst of human nature. And it's sad, but it's like, it does make you a loner. And that's, if you've ever saw that movie, I forget what it was called, A Dark Man or something, I don't know. It was about this like priest in England who like, or no, a preacher who like locks this woman in her basement. His like son's tutor. It's a really good movie, and the whole point is that she gets out and figures it out because she's a loner and she's very intelligent, is like what the people say as it's being solved, that like she doesn't have anyone in her life, which is what put her in this situation, that she's trapped in a basement, but also she got out of it because she's really smart and figures out ways to get out of it. So it's like a double-edged sword, that like she's too smart to have anyone in her life to hurt her, but she's too smart to let anyone like try to kidnap and kill her. So, and this goes way back, like I didn't fit in middle school, I didn't fit in kindergarten. I remember playing by myself in elementary school at recess, like all the time. I think that being unique and different is beautiful and that we should celebrate it. And I think that people who reject you are rejecting an aspect of themselves, because we are all one and one is all. And that means that if we don't celebrate every single unique person in the collective, then the collective has no strength. Which is why I think Trump is an idiot. I am half Chilean Argentine and half Irish, and I don't agree with his rhetoric at all. And his administration has made me even feel more left out from this world, that like my particular mix of Irish Hispanic is like not, is it allowed? And like, I don't know that my grandparents who came here speaking zero English in the 50s, I think they came on a work visa, but I don't know that they would be allowed to stay in this situation, and that would have changed the trajectory of my entire life. So I'm talking about not fitting in is okay, and it's actually fitting in with people can be dangerous. If we look at history, there's some examples, and I'll let you use your imagination.